Whenever we think about debt collectors, mostly influenced by movies, we think about red paints and bamboo sticks. But debt collecting is legal in Malaysia, provided that they are carried out by licensed debt collecting agencies. The use of red paints and bamboo sticks, however, are not. Here are a few things that debt collecting agencies can and cannot do. To encourage us to make more videos like this, please like, share and subscribe. We will really appreciate it. Thank you. As regulations on debt collecting is lacking in Malaysia, problems arise when debt collectors are not tactful during the process of collecting payments. To curb this problem, the Central Bank of Malaysia has provided a circular on fair debt collection practices, which is a set of guidelines that regulates how banks and financial institutions manage debt collection activities. Debt collectors appointed by these banks and financial institutions are not allowed to conceal their identity. If you are approached by debt collectors, they must show you their authorization card, the name of the debt collection company they are representing, as well as a written notice of your debt. They are not allowed to intimidate, use abusive language, and use any form of violence that amounts to causing fear or injury. This will include the use of red paints and bamboo sticks. Acts of blocking your access road, tailing you, or trespass onto your property are also not allowed. They are also not allowed to humiliate you, including pasting posters at public area for the purpose of naming and shaming you, or sharing your personal information to your neighbors, co-workers, friends, or family members to coerce you for payment. They are not allowed to misrepresent facts or provide misleading information to coerce the payment of the debt or to trick you into admitting to a debt is a big no-no. For example, suggesting to send you to prison if you fail to pay or telling you an incorrect amount so that you would volunteer the correct amount. Under the Limitation Act 1953, if a debt is more than 6 years, the banks and financial institution can no longer initiate a suit against you. However, if there is evidence of you admitting to a debt, the 6 years will start running from the date of your admission. They are also not allowed to call you more than 3 times in a week. More than that, it will be considered harassment. If any of the debt collectors appointed by the banks and financial institutions have committed these wrongdoings, a complaint can be lodged to your bank regarding the debt collector agencies. If you are unsatisfied with the response from the bank, you can then escalate your complaints to the Central Bank of Malaysia. Although debt collectors who are not appointed by banks and financial institutions are not governed by the Circular on Fair Debt Collection Practices, it doesn't mean that they can misbehave. Hence, when these debt collectors don't act appropriately, you can report these violations from debt collectors to your State Attorney General's office. In other words, lodge a police report. There are possibilities where debt collectors will claim for a debt that is incorrectly charged to you. If the debt is in dispute, it's perhaps best to lodge a police report and begin an investigation immediately. One should not start repaying the debt because the act of paying back legally means you accept the debt as yours. To contest it later on would simply mean that it's an afterthought. Times are bad, really bad, and debt collection is on the rise. However, that does not mean that one should not know of his or her right when faced with a debt collecting agent and be subjected to nuisance and oppression.